All right. Oh,
We
and
go
I
ahead and
need to
watch now
unmute
on
you too.
yours.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday pair programming stream. I'm here with Kael from YouTube, and we're going to be continuing to build the streaming overlay website and schedule page that we started last week.
Sweet. I'm hyped. And groggy.
Yeah,
But
I heard you've been
we
doing
can
a
get with
lot of
that.
programming work recently.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Just challenges, that's all. Uh so yeah, I better like exit out of Eclipse before I get carried away. So do you have the is it the same code to get into the
No, it's not going to be the
pair
same code. Let me
programming thing?
let me grab a new collaboration session. So start that.
All right.
It copies that to the clipboard, and I will send this to you on Slack.
Okay, great. Let's see. Oh shoot. Oh, oops. Okay, there we go. If I click this link, will it work? Hey. Is it gonna work this time? I think it's actually gonna work this time.
Well, it worked last time.
Well, I had to like go in. There we go. Okay, this time it didn't require me to have any like inputs of my own, you know. I had to like do it manually last time or something like that.
All right.
Oh, so many windows. Won't you have to pay for a server? I don't understand what you're asking, Mason and Michael.
Right. So
But
for
how are you?
everybody
Good
who's
morning.
watching, we are both streaming on our respective streams, so you may hear us talking to chat irrespectively. Irrespectively, I don't know. I don't think that's the right word. But anyways, I've got my stream on Twitch.tv, and Kale, you have your stream on YouTube.
I do, and it's going great so far. Better than last time, at least.
I believe last time you didn't actually stream, so
Yep. That's how it went. The bar was set pretty low, I guess you could say. So
all right.
yeah,
So the plan today is we're just going to
where
go
we
for
left.
2 hours. So that's going to be 9 o'clock Mountain Time, and your Central Time.
It'll be yes. It'll be like 10. Yep.
All right, perfect.
Pretty
So
good.
we had in our README set up that we were going to be doing like a schedule, like creating the very basic schedule page. And if I remember correctly, we're about to start building a template.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember we had like back in where was it? Was it in routes? No, not in routes. Wait, was it in no? Public? No, it wasn't in public. Where was it? Resort? No. Dude, why am I like
Well, okay, that might be good. We
tests?
can review what we did last time.
That'd be swell.
All right. How much sleep are you running on right now?
I mean, well, I got like 8.5 yesterday. 8.5 hours yesterday. Here we go. Here is the there we go. It's like a hackathon essentially. That's
Right.
that's what it felt like.
Okay, because you've been coding for like 16 hours already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll probably keep today a light day then, because it's really rough to like code for 16 hours, and that's also something you can do when you're young. But as we get older, that's it's not really tenable anymore.
Mhm. Mhm. Peace Froggy, you can see the episode 1 on my channel. I'm pretty sure it's unlisted. It's titled Pro Dev Teaches Noob Laravel. Yep, came up with that one myself.
Okay, so we got
Awesome.
that. How's the audio mixing? I think I got it right, but if Kale is too quiet or if I'm too loud, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we'll just sort of continue on. Okay, so we have last time we got a entire Laravel application set up, and we were able to serve that using this PHP artisan serve command that we have in the terminal here. And I did share the terminal with you, so you should have read-write access to it.
Oh, sick. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Um, okay, okay, so we've got that. And we've also created a database and set up authentication. Katali, hello. If we look in a database directory, there is a database.sqlite file in there, and that's our database. That's because we're using SQLite.
I still don't see that.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't see it. There might be some kind of um, something you need to set up in VS Code so that you can see it. Another thing that we can do is create a new shared terminal. So I think I can do that right here.
Okay.
So I'm on terminal 2, and we can cd into database and ls.
Yes. Okay, I see that.
Yeah, so here's
That I mean,
here's
it pops up there.
yeah, I know. So if you can't see it in your sidebar, you could always just go old school and use the terminal.
Mm-hmm.
All
Like a
right.
real hacker man.
Yep. We also got some free migrations for ourselves, and that's because Laravel comes with this users and create password and password resets. Um, migrations are simply to set up the shape of the schema of the database. So, like, what are the tables? What types do they take in? Just preparing some stuff for us. And finally, we set
So
ourselves up.
we
Oh,
didn't. I was just gonna say that we didn't like type any of this out though. It was like completely done for us with the make commands, right?
yep. Actually, even simpler than that, the Laravel new command. This just comes with it.
Oh, okay. So this was all just from there. Okay, that
Yep.
wasn't the author or anything.
And then if
Okay, cool.
we
Okay.
have the routes web file, and so in here we
Oh,
created
that's weird.
yeah, we created our one we sort of updated the route.get slash to return landing instead of welcome, and we updated that to sort of be a splash page. And we created one
Mm-hmm.
route which is to get the streamer name, and we send it to a streamer controller. And there's also these
Okay. Yes.
authentication routes. Those were created for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we should do some templating.
Well, and then the last thing that we did was we went into, well, I guess like two more things. The stream controller
Okay.
index. So if we take a look at the app folder, and inside of there, HTTP controllers, streamer controller is what we created this to just show off our individual sort of stream pages.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if I go to mine real quick, just to show the viewers. So, oh wait, I forget. Is this case sensitive? It is case sensitive. It's kind of like an OBS thing. We have quite a few things planned, some to integrate with OBS and others just to have like a if we come over here in the readme, just a schedule page, an admin where you can set the schedule and overlays. What we wanted to do was the overlays and like the animations that go into it. Um, and we were hoping to be able to hook up with Twitch and YouTube with their APIs. I don't know how it is. Are they just hooks or something? I don't really know how that works, but
Yeah, it's just going to be
but yeah,
APIs. We'll get there
dashboard,
when we get
got a
there.
landing page. Sweet, I'm excited for that.
Okay, so and then the final thing was we have this return view streamers.index. If we come down to resources, views, streamers, index.blade.php, this is the file that gets rendered into HTML and then sent up to the browser.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That was kind of weird the first time going around, but it makes sense now.
Right, and so that's the idea, is that
It seems like the tabbing is a bit off.
it may feel a little bit weird. Yeah, my cam is a little bit wet laggy, which that's a little bit sad. I don't know.
Yeah, you may like it may help if you stop like facing like face camming with me
Yeah, but it's not even the same camera.
because my bandwidth isn't that.
Let me try changing the
Oh.
resolution down on this this cam. Let me see. I'll do.
You know, we need streamer
That's
pages,
really...
one for a learning experience and two for
Is that...
something new, you know?
That's better, but that's also really small still. What was that? Sorry.
Do you think it's your bandwidth?
No, it's not my
Like
bandwidth. It's actually showing in my
it's because
OBS.
of your bandwidth, the lagginess? Oh, interesting. Huh. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. He's whining. He's a whiner. Right, but in the database, we only store their name at the moment.
All right. I think that'll be better.
I am on your
thank you, Katali.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, so back to this. That was the update for last week. This week we're still working on the sort of like the schedule page. This is going to be the default page that we run into, and now I put into like the tweet out that we were going to be using Vue.js for the front end, but I guess that's a technology that we kind of need to start deciding now if we're going to use a front end framework or if we're just going to use the Blade templates and nothing else.
Okay.
So have you ever used a front end framework?
Yes, I've used React.
Okay. And have you ever done just pure server-side rendering?
No.
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 Well,
Okay.
yes, I have. That was like that was 4 years ago.
A long time ago. Okay. Actually, things haven't really changed much in the server-side rendered world. So what we would need to decide is what is there a benefit to using a front-end framework to this, or would it be more beneficial to use a backend framework from the user side of view point of view, or do we just want to use Vue because we want to learn it? Like those are the other things. I guess, like, do you feel
I'd like to learn it, yeah.
All right. Well, then let's use it, even though I would probably argue that this is not necessarily the best use case for a front-end framework. And here's my reasoning for why. Frontend Frameworks
Right.
has a very heavy upfront cost, meaning that you have to download, or your viewer has to download the entire front-end framework library along with that first HTML and CSS and everything all at the same time. That's a pretty big hit just for the landing page.
Mm-hmm.
But the benefit is every time they click on like a link to go somewhere else inside of that same web app, then there's no loading time. It just instantly loads up. For this application,
Okay.
I don't actually really see very many switching, like because people are not going to go from like my stream page to your stream page most likely at the same time. Usually, you're clicking on this because off of our individual stream pages. So the initial load speed is probably more important if we were trying to make this like a super professional app.
Right. Okay.
So those are the two sort of like reasons for thinking about it, but let's go ahead and use Vue. So we could actually start setting up Vue right now. So on our landing page, we just want this to say like to be a Vue component.
Okay.
All right. So
I've never touched Vue like at all.
well, that's okay.
And I just changed my stream a little bit.
You changed your
Let's
screen a little
see.
bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a ton of delay. Yeah, so there's like a ton of delay between our Hangouts, it seems. And I think that was because I had my upload on my stream up so high, I think. But it seems like there's still a lot of delay.
Oh yeah, Hangouts is not the best for chat. We could try like Zoom next time maybe.
Okay. It was working fine earlier, but like seems like the gap was widening.
Yeah, that's the only problem with using services like these is things happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a. Let's see. We need to install Vue, and I don't know if it's already installed. Let's take a look at the package.json file. Vue is in there. So you might be surprised that there is a package.json inside of a PHP Laravel application. But that's because there's actually a lot of npm packages.
Can't really get away from Node, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of npm packages that are that are used.
I guess they're front end, but
yeah. And Katali, you ask, are you going to use Nuxt or something like that if you choose to use Vue? I actually don't know what Nuxt is. I'm relatively new to Vue also, so this is going to be a learning experience for me too. Although I am also learning it for work, so I probably will learn it a little bit faster as the weeks go by. So I haven't looked at Nuxt yet. Anyway, so we have Vue here.
I've never even heard of Nuxt.
That's fine. We if it's necessary, we can look it up later. Okay, so we have Vue. Let's come back to resources JavaScript and app.js. And next is for server-side rendering of Vue. No, I don't think we're going to do that this time. I don't know why. I sort of always hesitate on server-side rendering of front-end frameworks stuff. I know that it's not quite as necessary anymore for SEO because Google has been getting better at figuring that out, but there's also other search engines that might be important to hit. Okay. This is boilerplate JavaScript that was created for us.
Oh,
And
okay. Not much. Very, very minimal. Wow.
yeah, very minimal. A lot of comments. Most of it is not really required. They're also pulling in Bootstrap, which we don't really need. So
Okay.
I'm thinking that this entire thing, we can replace it with an import view from Vue.js. So have you used the import export? Well, you have with React, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So let's just replace. We're kind of going to replace all of this, but let's start with this top part, and we'll just rewrite it to just be import view from Vue.
Okay.
And that view does need to be a capital V. Okay, so this next one, and we can get rid of this comment. It's not really helping us here. We have this view component here. Let's change the name of our component to just like a hello component or something. It's just an example to show things out. We don't necessarily need it right this second. And they have this entire require. I don't really necessarily like having the require directly inside of the component. I think it might be better to have an import up above and then just use the variable here.
Okay. Let's see. So, oopsies. Oh, and I accidentally. Sheesh. There we go. Oh wait, no. What am I even doing? That was weird. What the heck? I'm gonna rename this then. And then. Oh wait. Would it be an import as well, or?
Yeah, this is going to be an import instead of a require. We don't need require because Laravel does bring in Webpack for us, so there's no need for requires.
Okay.
And we don't actually need to call it
default.
So default is a keyword, so we can't use that.
What should it?
Yeah, example component might be fine.
Just like that?
Yep. And I don't even think we need this default
there. That's weird that it's not technically like a... No, okay, good.
Okay, so we've got that. We don't need this comment. Then we notice that we have this const app equals a new view. So we're registering new view, and then we're telling it that the element that view is in, that our view app is in, has an ID of app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is there's a few things we need to do here. First of all, this kind of exists right now. They gave us some boilerplate example component. So we can go play around with that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go find that file.
Okay, great. So components. Found it. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so notice it's just
component mounted with a period.
Yeah, so we don't need any of this. We can just replace this with an H1. Hello world. We do have
awesome.
Don't
forget the exclamation point.
Oh, we do have an export default here, and yeah, and then mounted. So mounted is a lifecycle for Vue. So essentially, it's on on component did mount is the equivalent for React.
Okay. Do they have as many, or is it like, is there a mounted and then updated, or is there like I forget what all there are.
Yeah,
In like React, there's like component will mount and stuff, but
yeah, there's a pretty big number of lifecycle methods for Vue too. And we may need to get into those. Right now, we don't actually need this console log, but we'll take a look at this. I think the most interesting thing is that these are .vue files; they're not JS. And there's this template tag that we put all the HTML in, and then there's this script tag where we put the JavaScript in. And if we wanted to, we could even go one further and do a style tag and scope it.
Oh, lovely. That's nice.
And scope this to the template itself. So that way, anything we write in here will only affect this this here. So we're not going to do that right now. But Vue, the entire philosophy is everything all in one. Did I just delete the? Oh.
Yeah, I was about to put that back. There we go.
All right. So now that we have this, let's go and take a look at the blade file. So that will be the welcome, or the, I guess it's not welcome because we changed it. It's now landing.
There we go. Okay. There it is.
Right. So we don't really need our welcome.
Okay,
like,
so
we don't
how do
need
we place it here?
any of this. We're just going to delete all of these. What we do need is we need to pull in, we need to create a div that has an ID of app, because that's what Vue is looking for.
Okay.
And we also need to pull in the Vue, like that actual app script, the JavaScript.
Interesting. So would it be something like this is, I'm gonna like copy that and then paste it there, something like that?
So it's a good question, but it's not exactly going to go into resources because this is it's not really JavaScript that we're writing there. Okay. It's sort of like it's Vue script, but it's still JavaScript, but it needs to be compiled. So when we compile it, it's going to actually go into the.
I guess there's a separate folder.
Yeah, there's a public folder.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just like React, I guess, then.
Exactly, yes. So we're going to be looking for the public JS. And so we don't even need to write public. It assumes public. So it could just start with /JS /app.
Okay.
.js.
Okay, sweet.
So we need to compile our JavaScript here. So in our terminal, we're going to do this through npm because that is one of the biggest things that we're going to use npm for. And so it's npm run dev. Do I recommend learning Laravel? You mostly work with Express and Node. I recommend learning another language and framework, if nothing more than to sort of see how other frameworks are doing things and take any lessons you learn from them back into your primary framework. All right, what happened? CrossENV not found. So I don't think we have. Yeah, we need to do a npm install.
Okay. That worked. It's like typing really.
Hold on, there you go.
Huh. This is really.
I
There.
know
Okay.
it was a thing because I had my sidebar open and I have
Ah, okay.
my
There we go.
code on the left side of the screen only. So it was doing weird things to your code as you were trying to type
Oh,
into the terminal.
I was wondering.
Yeah, I forgot that because we did learn that last time, but I still forgot. I forgot it.
NPM. Just a bit of bugs. They'll be sorted out eventually, I suppose.
Yep. So once we install everything we need here, and this is going to include installing Webpack because are you going to use the npm version of Webpack? Then we're going to be able to run npm run dev, and that will compile
Okay,
everything.
great. Awesome. Does it give us feedback on like the packet size or the however large the the payload is?
We could actually take a look at that in the browser. So
Okay,
uh,
okay.
for example, if we remove the script, so I'm going to comment not all of it, just this one line out. So if we comment that out and I hit refresh, I mean nothing is really showing here, but that's because we don't have anything displaying. And I'm going to come to the network tab in my Chrome.
Okay.
And let's see, where is it?
Yes.
Oh, then I have to hit refresh once that network
Wait,
tab
so
is
you
open.
are on Chrome?
Well, I'm on Chromium, which is it's the Chrome before Google sort of adds in all their API stuff.
Okay.
And it looks like the entire page is 1.4 kilobytes.
Okay. That's without the entire view, right?
Right. So if we
Okay.
re-comment this back in and we have to do npm
So
run build,
what will that be like?
we'll find out.
Okay.
Oh, npm run dev, sorry.
Missing script. Okay.
Now, so
Additional.
if
Okay.
you weren't
I
using
guess it's
Laravel
doing
and
that
you wanted to
automatically for
run
us.
with Vue, you'd have to like install all these Vue tools, and you'd probably end up using the Vue CLI command line interface to sort of set all of this stuff up for you. But Laravel is tightly coupled. I guess it's not tightly coupled, but it sort of like sets you up with Vue to begin with, and so the Laravel community, for the most part, uses Vue for the front end.
Okay.
All right, now we have our app coming in. It's now going to be the compiled Vue.js and our component. Let's go ahead and hit refresh.
Okay. Let's see.
I actually didn't see it get
Huh.
the app.js. Oh, wait, did we not save it?
Yeah, neither did I.
There it is.
Oh, oops.
346 kilobytes.
Yep. Yep.
So, I mean, that's a significant increase in the
That's
amount
not
of
that
data.
bad, right?
I mean, it's still not bad,
Yes.
but we're going to be adding more to it, right?
Right.
So I guess it's something to keep in mind when we're developing is if there's anybody that has a slow internet connection, this is going to be fairly, this is not going to be super bad, but as we add more and more stuff, then it's going to get worse and worse.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal for us because most of a streaming audience usually has a decent internet speed, but if you're building something else. Okay, let's take a look. We have this in app.js, we have that view component, hello dash component. What that means is that we can, inside
That
of this div,
was right.
we can create a hello dash component. Just like that.
Okay.
And so this this should be displayed here, and we should get the hello world. Let's try it.
Okay. Yep, I got it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the basics of like, I mean, I guess not all the basics, but the super basics of Vue is we created a component, we registered it with the application, and then we displayed it to the screen.
Right. All right. This is really interesting. So whenever we create a new component, we'll register it within app.js. And we can just use them willy-nilly as if they're regular HTML.
Well, yes and no. We may not have to do the full register component if we're like in some circumstances. But if we want to like directly drop these in here, we most likely will.
Okay.
Okay, so we want to sort of set up this this landing page and probably have links to our individual pages. So let's change this example component from like the name example component to maybe landing component. Oh, and that's an awesome resource, Katali. I'm gonna save that to the side.
Something like that, I guess.
Yeah, so landing component. And then inside of the example component, we want to rename that to landing component and then sort of make that look more like a landing component. So it'll, you know, title for the app, and then let's have links to each of our pages.
Okay. So if we have, oh, interesting. You want me to hard code the links for now?
Well, that's a really good question. Do we want to hard code the links, or do we want to do a get and then and have a route? It's probably best for us to have a get with a route. Mixedy Exodus.
Well, I mean, I would say like instead of doing a get with the route, let's see. Like instead of having the get with the route, we'd have to configure like an endpoint for that. Couldn't we like once we could load all the data from the backend and just give it to Vue straight off the bat? Is there a way to do that?
I mean, so there is a way to do that because we are loading this landing out of a blade template. So we could definitely do something here and like hand it in. But that's not actually the best practice for Vue. Because we don't really want to like once we have a front end framework, if we want to move things around and not necessarily have them in the front page, the first page, what if we move it to like another page? We don't. We'll just have that data sort of sitting here and not being used. Mixedy Exodus, you ask, what's easier to learn, React, Vue, or Angular? So I'm gonna basically assume it's modern Angular, not Angular 1. I would, they all have different things. It depends upon if you know JavaScript really well or not. I would say Vue is the easiest to get up and running with. React is the easiest to learn, like if you know all of JavaScript, all of modern JavaScript. And Angular is easiest if you know Java. That's sort of like my thought. Okay, so
I would like to agree, but I've never used anything but React. So
yeah. Well, I mean, you learned React, so there's that. The best thing is there's a huge community across all the frameworks. So there's people that are teaching all the frameworks constantly. So lots of places to learn. Let's I think because what we want to do is when our landing page, and did we rename this yet? Landing component. Yes. I need to delete that. Okay. So for our, we have this like mounted, this entire like mounted lifecycle method that's on the object that we're exporting.
okay.
And
I see it showed up in the terminal, or not
right.
the terminal, the console of my browser.
Yeah, and so what this is this only happens after this component has been mounted. So we can right away just start doing interesting things like sending a GET request to our server to get all of the streamer names.
Okay.
Now we don't have that route up right now, but we could either use the fetch, like the native JavaScript fetch, or we could use something like Axios, or any other fetch related library.
So I've used Axios and fetch before. I generally just kind of use fetch. It seems to do the trick for me. I don't know exactly what Axios gets you above fetch.
It pretty much makes it
Just
slightly
semantically
easier.
maybe
That
a little
entire
bit
return
nicer.
results.json is not needed in Axios. But okay, let's
Okay.
let's sort of let's get this set up. So what we want here, we need, if we can imagine it, we're gonna have like in templates probably something like an h2 streamers, and then we're gonna want maybe like a list. So unordered list, list item, and then maybe like an a tag.
Li ULs.
Yeah, and then it could be like an a tag that goes to like one of our pages. So Berserker, and then oh, that's fun.
Oh, that was weird. I don't know why I did that.
Well, I know it's weird because I think when you press return at the end, it brought my cursor down for a second. But yeah. So if we take a look at this now, it's unhappy because these templates are only allowed to have one thing in them. So that means we now want to come in and make this a section, and these can all go inside of it.
Awesome.
And okay, so if we were to
I like it.
so far, right,
at least.
Now, if we press refresh, nothing happens, and that's because we need to rebuild this. But it's kind of annoying to have to do the npm run dev every time. So Laravel did add another script for us, which is npm run watch.
Neato. I like that. I like the don't even have to worry about it. It does it for you.
Yep. So now it doesn't give us the control back of the terminal anymore, but that's because now if we make any changes to this template, it will just auto recompile for us, and we can just go over and hit refresh. So here's we have our page. So we want this to happen automatically for us, which we don't really have right now. We sort of hard coded this, but I sometimes like to do this so I can sort of see what I want it to look like, and then I'll convert it back to automatically doing it.
Okay, great. Great.
So that means when we mount, we're going to want to do a fetch request to a.
So these are working, which is nice.
Yeah, we're going to want to do a fetch request to our own server and get the users, which of course we don't have a route for that. So we're going to have to go through like that whole shebang to get that up.
Okay, I'm down.
So what I'm thinking is we're going to create a new route for the for streamers.
Okay.
And it should be a get because we just want to get a list of all the streamers.
So should we like preface it with like /API/streamers or something?
Yeah, we could do that too. It's sort of like it's our choice, right?
Okay. So I suppose something kind of on the lines of like I don't know, I'm just kind of
I didn't see that update on my end. I heard the typing.
Is it not? Really? Like line 19, do you see the
Yeah, I see line 19, and I have API streamers for the route, but it didn't update the streamer controller.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure if I should like mess with that quite yet since we haven't like created a controller yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if we don't create a controller, what would happen is we get an error message saying like, "Hey, there's no controller for us to use." Right now we have like this. This is just getting like the streamer. I'm thinking we're probably going to want to eventually change this, change this out, because this is a little bit. This is more like we're going to do backend routing. This one right here, the API streamers. This is going to give us the like a list of all the streamer names. So I'm actually thinking the streamer controller is fine. And what we probably want is instead of index, we want like what is it that we're doing, and we name it that.
List some sort of Uh, hmm. I don't know what you'd call it.
We could. I mean,
All I
we're
can think
getting.
of is API, but that's
I guess
not that descriptive.
we're getting all streamer names. So let's just like get streamer names. It's yeah, it's just gonna be the index part.
Okay. Oh, is that the uh is that the capitalization?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna go to the streamer controller and add that function in.
Okay. Great. So, yep, there we go. And if we just go ahead and like did I name it like that? Get streamer names plural is what I said.
We'll find out pretty quickly if it's named wrong. Okay, what we want to do is we want to be able to get all of
So if we just want to take like the first 10.
Yeah, so we could get the first 10, we can get all of them. It's sort of like it's up to us of how we want to do that. For right now, let's just get all of them.
Okay. I forget what it was.
All.
Can we try tinkering again?
Oh, we could do tinker, yeah. If you want to do tinker.
Okay.
Yeah. But also tinker is pretty nice, so we could go take a look at that if you want.
Oh, that's on my PC. Okay, I'd like to.
All right, let's. All right, create a terminal 3.
Awesome. So what was it again?
PHP artisan tinker. And when you type PHP and you hit return, you went into the interactive PHP shell. So
okay. Shoot. Artisan tinker. There we go. Oh, we probably can't do it like that. What was it exactly? App user? So... sweet. So if I say all, I'm thinking that's probably not the greatest idea to get literally all of them.
I mean, so it depends upon
we could just
whether
get,
or not
like, the top 10.
Yeah.
Somehow?
So the problem we have right now is we only have 2. So if we try to get to the top 10, we don't really know if that works. So we could just what we could do is we could try to guess what the API is, and then maybe use that to like limit the number of responses back, and maybe limit to 1. And then if we can limit it to 1, then we know we've got the limit right, and then we'll just do that for the other ones.
Okay, guess I'll try to do some research real quick. Let's see.
We could. I'm actually thinking of just trying. So do you remember that all responds with an object? And so we could run a method off of that object if it exists with a thin arrow.
Okay. Okay.
So that
like
seems to have worked.
Maybe. I'm hoping it's. Hey, yeah. Okay.
I only saw 1. come from that.
So we could just kind of take 10 of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good.
If we wanted to actually
And
go
if I
take a
do
look at
10, then
the
it gives me just 2. Because that's all we
yeah,
have. All right.
if we want to actually look at the real documentation and look for real, that would be on laravel.com /docs/5.8. I just go to laravel.com, then go to the documentation, and then there's database, and essentially query
Database.
builder. And then I just skip down and find the limit section.
Okay, so okay. I see a find 3, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, if we ever need to find a specific user, we'll use that quite heavily.
Okay. Well, I think the take should do. You think?
Yeah, no, that's the recommended way to do it.
Awesome. So, like when we say all, is it literally getting everything and then just taking what it needs, or is it just taking what it needs from the get-go, like not even like taking everything? I'm a little bit
So
concerned by using all.
from what I
I don't
understand,
really know its power.
yeah, from what I understand, it doesn't really do it doesn't really do everything until it hits the end, and then it goes out and does the request. But also, the query builder is a little bit more efficient than if we were to use the Eloquent um, ORM, which is the next section of the database.
Okay.
I don't know if this is complex enough for the ORM.
Okay.
And that's just mainly because the ORM is object
Let's see.
relation
So,
model. That I maybe have a word there wrong.
mhm.
Anyways, it's that's for to make like joins and everything else really, really, really simple. For right now, this is fine, and if we need to make it more complex, we can definitely abstract this out into the
Okay.
model.
Okay, great.
Now, here's the other interesting thing here. We're going to be giving everything back to the user, which I'm not really sure we want to do. We only want to get the list of the names, right?
Mhm.
So we should be able
Right.
to limit that.
Okay. So, I'll look on the site again. Is there um huh. Do you think we could just like present them with a string and go from there? I'm not sure exactly how to like purge some. Oh, wait, no. Nope, still can't. Dang it. I thought I had found it, but
So there's definitely a way to do this in the query itself. We don't want to like give extra data and then allow the front end to sort of deal with that because um, if well our front end may not be the only one that gets this data.
Okay.
So are you in the query builder part of database in the docs?
I'm in queries. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
Okay.
yes, I am in query builder. Yes. Oh, I see it selects. Wow, I had passed that like way earlier.
Yeah. So there's the specifying a select clause, but there's also there's an even easier one, I think. I was just at it and I went away from it. Oh, I think it's
Dang. Okay, let's see.
I think it's also value might work. We can play around with this with our tinker. Actually, so we have
Okay.
value
Okay.
and then pluck
So
might be good too.
pluck. Huh. I'll try pluck real quick. Um, I don't know if that would be before or after the take. Let's try this. Um, hey, great.
Yeah, so I mean that's exactly what we want. Do we want to try some of the other ones
So
too?
that worked pretty nicely. Using pluck was yeah. Sure, sure. Let's just go for it. So value uh there's so many words with value uh
It was
on
right
this
above
page.
pluck. So yeah, I wish I could show you where in the database this is, but so basically it's just
Um
value instead of pluck.
okay. Are the arguments the same way, I guess?
Yeah, it's going to be the exact same.
Okay. Oh. Method illuminate database eloquent collection value does not exist.
All right, so it doesn't like value. And that might be because this like value is for a single row and we're getting multiple. Okay, so that lets us know that pluck is the best way to do it. And then you had found select also.
Okay. Yes. I'm not sure. I saw it and I was just like, I don't know if that would work, but
Let's try it.
could
What's the
try
worst
it.
that could happen?
Yeah, so let's see. So it seems like it's like this. Select name, and if you wanted another thing, maybe we want ID for whatever reason. Oh, oopsies.
Yeah, so it
Just
doesn't
as
like
an
select
example, it
either.
seems like they did this and wait.
So I think value is where we want to go with this.
So do you think we should just go back to value?
Yeah, I think we should just use
Okay.
value. It gives us an array
Or
of
or was
names.
it pluck or value?
Oh, sorry, it's pluck.
Okay. Okay. So if I kind of bring that to where we were working, there we go.
And because this is a get, and we now have a route for, I think, what is it? A get for /API/streamers. We can just go there in our browser.
Okay. Yep, I see it.
And so then it just that's what we get back. That's our data structure. And I think that's probably perfect.
Wow.
So by returning this, it's actually going to return it as JSON itself.
I like it. That was like super simple.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that easy?
It's great.
Okay, let's come back to our landing component. And we're going to want to do a fetch to the server to get that data. So we don't need this console log anymore.
Okay. So I would try to go like this, I think. Oopsies. I think I'd do this. And then maybe we could just, for now, just console.log it. Maybe have a catch.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what happens.
That's usually how I kind of go about it. Okay. So yes, it came in.
Yep. So we've now got our data inside of this fetch. So it's being console
So now
logged.
the question is,
now, how do we get this into our template? That's the next question. So let's go take a look at the documentation.
I've got no clue.
So when looking at documentation for this, we could. I mean, there's a lot of different like places that you can go to try to find answers for this. We know that we're doing some kind of get. We know we're going to have something in the JavaScript, and we want to essentially bind that in to the. We're going to bind it into the template.
Okay. Huh. Let's try this. Let's see. V model? I don't know if V model is what we're using. I've never heard of that before.
Well, so if we
Vue.js,
like so, okay, these are all templates. I don't know, or like this is properties. I don't know if I need that. There's a data object. And so I haven't actually done this yet myself. So this will be fun to sort of look into it and find. Let me see. Template comp. What we want is to put something, and I'm actually going to go and learn that there's like guide and API. I'm just going to go straight to the examples. I like those a lot more.
Yeah,
I mean, I usually like examples a lot more. We'll see if.
So, uh, I do see a little. I do see. Nope, not sure.
You're not
Still
sure?
having trouble figuring out how exactly to do this because nah.
All right. So I'm looking for a example, or maybe a cookbook might be better. So a cookbook in technical like documentation is really just like, okay, here is like, this is what you want to do. Here is how it's done. It's kind of like recipes for code. And
Okay,
what?
I could get behind that.
Yeah, and then I'm not necessarily seeing anything specific that I want in here. Like these are all on the top level. I want the.
Ah, here we go.
You found something?
I think I'm onto something. Yes, I think. let me see. Let me see if I can like do this. Yeah, okay. So let's try this. I'm just gonna like it's just kind of some boilerplate code right now. So we probably want this to be loading. Well, we'll have it false for now. So it seemed like when it's mounted, maybe we should set, and they used this dot loading. So maybe we could go like this, and then once we get it, we can go kind of like this. We could set this dot loading equal to false, and then we would have our post data, or it wouldn't be the post, I guess. It would be streamers, and we just have that as an empty array.
This feels like it's a lot of work to test something out.
Something like that. Um,
I'm wondering if there's something we could do
I
is
agree.
even easier.
I agree.
Like, so we have this data in return. What if we just have like a string, like, I am data.
Just like, I mean, the example I was looking at came with a loading, but I mean, this is pretty simple, right?
Right, except there's no data in here. So I'm actually thinking like something really, 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 really simple. So like this could be like streamers, and then we'll just have I am a streamer. And by doing this, we don't actually care yet about this stuff right now.
Okay.
What we want to do is we want to just see, can we now get this string to display on the screen?
Mm-hmm. To display. Okay. Well, let's try it then. I'm just gonna wrap it in an li, I guess, just
Sure, yeah.
underneath everything. Oh, can I just kind of go like this? There we go. A. There we go. href will just say random streamer. And oopsies, didn't mean to do that. There we go. So it seemed like they did this. Failed to save. Yeah, okay.
I saved it
Let's try this.
already.
So it did place in there.
Right, so
Okay,
that
great.
worked. So what we can do is this is just an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like we can access like streamers, so we can set it. So if we have this just to be an empty array to begin with, we can set it using this keyword.
And then, okay, great.
All right, so let's try that.
Now, if it's an array, then how would we go about? Can we like map it?
Ooh, well, so good question. Right now, I just like refreshed on my screen, and I see that this third item is actually it's the data. So we got that.
Like an array.
Yeah, like an array. So that's kind of what we want.
Great.
Streamers to be, it's an empty array to begin with, and then it's an array that has the well, us two streamers inside of it. So we need to be able to loop through those,
Okay.
and
awesome.
then like
My sister
that
left
to
her
the
iPad
screen.
in here and it made a noise. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb and see if this works. I haven't seen like any specific documentation that says that it'll work, but let's just see. um kind of like I don't know if this is gonna work. This is how I do it in React, I guess.
Yes, this is. I can tell you right now, this is very React like.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get rid of this last li and see if this fixes or has any sort of. Okay, no, it has issues with that.
Yeah. So, So one of the big things is that React does make you write, as a developer, write a lot of code, like a lot of JavaScript code. Vue doesn't do that. It's actually more like the original Angular. So there is something available to us that will allow us not to have to do all of this. So we don't want to do that.
Okay.
So it's actually going to be a little bit simpler. There is and this is going to be our first directive. So they're called directives, and there's one that we can use. I found it and just the guide under list rendering. So I could, you know what, this might be interesting to sort of do. I could put this into the code. For that, and then put that into a comment. All right, so this is where you could find documentation for like what we're going to do with the list.
Okay, great. I think I'm actually on that exact website. I am, yes. So, interesting. I don't. This is really, really new. I don't know, huh? It's ID.
All right. So none of this code is what we're not gonna need, like this one right here.
Okay, great. So I guess like if I'm going off of that the guide right there, I'd kind of be doing something like here. Let me So I mean, no, I'm not sure, huh? Because I thought we'd just be using data, but they're doing it in a little bit of a different way.
They're doing it in a slightly different way. They do have a data down there, and we have a data here. Uh, but I think the I guess like we have a data this is a data function, and they just have a data object. I'm not sure if it matters. Like for now, it's working the way we have it.
Okay.
So we don't have to touch it, and eventually we might find we could try like the next component and not do it as a function, and we'll eventually figure out like what the difference is because we'll run into problems with it. I think what we want to do right here is focus on the top example.
Hmm. The top. Okay. So the at the very top, they create this object. They say the new and the view. Like that's and they assign it to a variable. It's like I don't know where they're going with that. But I guess I'll just try it.
I'm not sure we're looking at the. Oh no, we don't need to do that
Let's
because
see.
so I'm talking about the top example,
So I
the
mean,
example above that.
no, the top. Let's see. Oh, like just the HTML, the markup.
Yep, that's all because we have the data now and we know we can access it. So we don't really care about the JavaScript part.
So I guess just something like this. I like it feels like we need more than just the markup, you know? So they have item and item, but we have streamer. So I guess you'd be streamer in streamers.
Yeah, that's usually how I would do
It
it.
is highlighting it though. V bind key.
Elements in indirection expect to have a vbind key directive. So we could look that up really quickly. I don't know if it'll have it on this page, but we could search for
Let's
that.
see.
All right, that's
Yeah, I'm gonna do a
what was it
quick
called?
search. Stack Overflow. Okay, here we go. Here's some. Did that happen? No. Expected vbind colon key. Let's go like that then. Yeah. Okay, that solution did not work. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow, this is really weird. Like, there we go. Well, I mean, that may have done it. Let's see. Yep, that did do it.
Yeah, so we don't need this one at all anymore.
Okay. And I'll make this into an A real quick. And I'm gonna do. Just gonna. There we go. Oh, hang on. Do you mind saving?
Oh yeah, I
it's
can
still
save.
not. It's still not saving on my side.
Got it. So we have a problem.
Oh, there we go. Okay. And now.
Absolutely nothing shows up whatsoever. if we take a look at what it displayed nothing. And I found this out the other
Very
day.
interesting.
It actually doesn't like this syntax. The handlebars cannot go inside of a tag.
Okay.
And let me.
So how do we do something like this, I guess?
So we're gonna need. I think it's the vbind.
Do you think I'm just experimenting? Like that was what was wrong with it, but just trying different things. Yeah, it still does not like that at all.
Right, and the main reason is, well, this should work a lot better. Yeah, that this works, and that's because we don't have the handlebars inside of the tags.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's. Let's see. How do I get to props? I don't want to be in props. I want. And I can't remember where it is. There's a piece of the documentation that talks about what you can do, and I believe it's the binding.
Okay.
I don't remember where in the docs it has that.
Let's see. Huh.
And I believe we're going to use the vbind. But here's the biggest
Vbind,
thing
you
is that
think?
we're not going to be able to use the
that?
a tag for real, because the a tag is going to go do a hard refresh, and we're eventually going to want some kind of component that will be sending the routing us properly. So you know how like you have to use vue-router and like the link tag in React?
Okay.
We're going to end up having to
Yes.
do the same type of thing for Vue.
Okay. So view routing. Let's see.
So vue-router, I believe, is the one we're looking for.
Okay.
And it's as simple as just npm installing
I'm looking in
vue-router.
some examples on GitHub.
Oh yeah.
Okay, great. Let's see. So I'm gonna get rid of the tinker for now.
Oh yeah. Let me pull that up.
So like that, you think? Is that the one?
Yeah.
So great. If it's anything like React's router, then I feel pretty comfortable about it.
Let's see.
Just
Not sure
getting
what the right.
hooked up with it seems to be a little bit daunting. Here we go. I think I did find some things.
All right. Okay, so did that get installed? It did. Okay, so that means that it's now inside of our package.json, and we can begin using it in our app.js.
Okay. Way ahead of you.
All right.
So this is saying I'm in app.js and I think I'm going the right way. And it says do like this. Oh, hang on. So then it says define the routes, okay. And then create the router. Okay. Let's see.
Now we won't have any like.
Do they? I'm gonna look at dynamic routing.
It's actually on that first getting started page. So we look at this.
It is okay.
Probably like the JavaScript section. There. Essentially, what we have here is kind of showing us what we're going to want to do. We're going to create the routes, yes, but we don't really have any routes right now. So it could probably be an empty array.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and look at this a little bit. Oopsies, wrong window. Oopsies, wrong window again. I have so much clutter right now. Got way too many things open.
I like to reset my my desktop before every project I work on, so I don't. Everything is related. This actually should be an array. Yeah, you got it.
Let's see. Oh, that should actually.
Now we don't have any we don't have any objects to go into right now, but we will shortly.
Okay. So that'll be like that for now, I guess. And honestly, I think it'd just be easier to look at if it were like that. Do you mind saving?
No problem. All right. Now this really isn't very much. It's not going to change anything.
Okay.
But that's because we don't have any routes. We don't have any of that stuff set up.
You know, actually, do you see line 5? I don't think we need this anymore. I put that there, but I don't think we needed that. I'm reading the little snippet.
Line 5, where are you? Okay, you're in app.js.
Well, I deleted it. I was right.
I think we actually do need that.
You do? Okay. They didn't have it in the example, but they mentioned it.
I know,
And I
and
didn't
that's
know if that
something
applied to us.
that got me last week. Is they don't say, they just sort of like basic mention it, but then don't actually put that in their documentation. Um, we could play around with it. So what we could do is, instead of deleting it, we could comment it out, and if it doesn't work, we'll put it back in, but that will be like, okay, because I don't want to get rid of it right now, because I'm fairly certain we do need it. Okay, so we have this app.js set. We have all of these things set up. What we want is, we want to set up a router link.
A router link. Okay.
And so I think in our landing components, we're going to want, instead of like link, it's just going to be router link, router dash link.
Router dash link. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you seeing
that? So that's.
We're trying to.
Oh, it's under getting started and HTML.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, great.
But we remember, we can't do this inside of the tags. But I believe we can do the v-bind. Yeah, and so like this is now the question: how do we get this to show where we want it to go here? Now, if we just do something like that, we just want to sort of like make sure it's working. So we'll save, hit refresh. Unknown custom element router link. Right. Did I register the component correctly? So I don't think we did.
Huh. What's up, Mr. Melon? How you doing?
So putting that vue.use back solved that problem. It registers.
How you doing? So I remember your name. I recognize you.
It does. We do need this vue.use.
Right. So we did need the vue.use.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Now we want to vue.bind, and so like I haven't.
And it does pound.
We need a vue.bind inside of like this too, like to say what that is, and that's sort of like the probably the good question. I haven't seen the documentation for how to properly do that yet.
Okay.
Now I wonder if it is. I've seen this colon syntax.
So new. Everything's so new.
I know. Well, it's a lot different. So I'm wondering if it's as simple as this.
Okay. To streamer? Oh, thank you, Mr. Melon. I appreciate it. I'm doing good. A little bit tired, but pushing through. Let's see. So what does that do? Yes, that works. However, there's still that pound in between the domain, or quote unquote domain. It's really just localhost and the link.
Yes. Well, so the pound is to support older browsers. If we don't really care about that, we're going to need to find the vue-router and set it up for HTML5 history mode.
I mean, if the pound, I mean, I'm down for it. I thought it was a bug on our part, but if it's meant to be there, then I'm all for it.
Oh well, actually, so I guess like fun history problem, uh, and Cowtel, yes, death to Internet Explorer. That's pretty much the fault of this. So, way back in the old days, if you wanted to like change the URL, it would force a refresh of the browser window in Internet Explorer. And so everybody got around this by using the anchor tag, which is the hash.
Ooh.
And so that's why by default, like Angular and everybody else use that. Now
Okay.
React, I
Okay.
believe, assumes that you're in more recent times, and they just use history mode right off the bat. But that's why, like, if you ever see that hash in
Yeah.
there, it's because they're trying to support like every browser for everything. We can actually set this. This is going to be in when we do the new vue-router. So here is the documentation for that. Oh, and I should focus you.
Okay. How did it focus me? Is this where you are?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
focused you
Okay.
into
Yeah. I've been
app.js.
there. Let's see. What's up, Awful Awful? Hang on one second. My apologies, had like unexpected company right there. I remember in the past when I watched you code games. Good times, right? Lovely. Good to see you again. Let's see. So now that we have those routers, does that make our actual endpoints from Laravel obsolete?
It's gonna make one of the endpoints that we have obsolete. Oh, it's gonna make a couple of them obsolete because we're gonna do a front end routing here in Vue, but we're also gonna have a back end routing in Laravel that's just gonna respond with JSON. But I'm
Okay,
thinking right
okay.
now, let's
Awesome.
change
I
let's
was I was
change the
hoping
mode.
they'd be able to like, you know, okay, okay. We are coding a gosh, why am I blanking so hard? This is what we're making. If you read this readme, okay, so it's basically streaming overlays and tools for streamers. It's got an entire authentication system at the moment. We got a database going, all the neat stuff. Really excited to get connected with the Twitch and YouTube. Um, but I'm still like really struggling with Vue, but we're getting there.
All right, so we're gonna add
Um,
a view
so
to the new
what were
router.
you meaning when you said change the mode?
Okay. So go to this
Okay,
URL, and we're gonna switch to HTML5 history mode, which is gonna remove that hash
gotcha.
from the URL.
Okay, let's see. There we go. Mode history and routes. So now should get rid of this, right? Yep, it does. There we go. But yeah, our routes are a little bit broken because I guess we're not actually dynamically routing anything at the moment.
Well, we don't really have any components at those endpoints. So whenever you click on them, it just takes us to the landing page because there's nothing to do there. But we've got it where if we put in like a bunch of stuff into the terminal and we click on them, it's not refreshing the page when we click on those links.
Yes. Okay, great.
So we've got a full single page app up and running.
It's very nice. I like that.
All right. So let's see if we can get it so that when we click on ours, we get to our actual
very, very basic, but
our actual pages. So we're going to need to create a new component.
Okay, great. Let's see. Dive in a little deeper. So I guess we would create it and then register it, or could we just register it real quick?
Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't really matter which order we do that in as long as it works in the end.
So I'm going to call this streamer component for now, and then I don't think that's going to be the actual name for it, but you know, just to get something going, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe like a schedule page might be more appropriate.
Okay, so I'm in streamer component now.
All right, so we've got that up and running.
You think? Okay, yeah, I'll rename that then. Okay, I'm gonna rename these real quick. And if we come over to the app, let me. There we go. I do have a Discord, although it's not actually public. I mean, you could probably find me on it. I think my username's just Kael and I or something, like it is here.
Now I'm putting this like binding in for a streamer, but I don't know if we actually like
see it.
want that in there.
Work?
Like if we just say like, okay, streamer page, that might be good here. Did we get everything else set up so that we
just for now?
Well, okay. The other thing is that we need to actually set up our routes. So we don't really need to have this schedule component, a Vue component here, like a globally rendered Vue component. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the vue-router. And in the JavaScript section of it, there is this object that we're going to put into the routes. And specifically, now we're onto that dynamic route matching.
So awesome. It seems like it's like this. So like something like that, and then semantically these aren't aligning as well as I'd like them to, but
yeah, I mean, if we find
that.
The names need to change, we can do that.
Okay.
There's one more.
So, I mean, if we tried loading this up right now, what would that turn out to be?
Okay, so if we load this up.
Wait, what? Whoa. Okay, yeah.
If we load this up, did you go to where like one of the pages off of Laravel app?
I did a refresh and it brought me to the Laravels.
Ah, yes. So we'll need to get rid of that eventually. Yes. But for right now, it's not going to display for us. And the reason is because we need to also set up the, what is it? The router view tag.
Router view. Okay, interesting.
So this will be in the index.blade.
Let's see. Okay, great. Let me see. Index.blade.
Wait, no, sorry, not
There it
index.blade.
is. Okay.
It was the other blade, the landing blade.
Landing.blade. Okay, great. So I see the hello component. So do we need to wrap this entire like just right around the body?
No, so there's a router view tag that we need to put in there.
Router view. Okay. Within the app.
Within the app, but not within the hello component.
Okay. Should it wrap around hello component?
Nope. This is going to be the tag that all of the router views will go inside.
So the hello component will appear on every single page, and whatever the router is rendering
Yeah.
will render underneath
Right.
that.
Right. So, I mean, not necessarily what we want right this second, but we can fix it up in a little bit. Let's try this right now and see what happens.
Right. And we can tweak it to make it work better. Yeah. Okay. There are quite a few that are unsaved though. App.js and schedule component.
Oh, there are? Let me close all these windows. App.js is saved for me.
Yeah, I can't seem to save them.
All of these are saved for me.
App.js?
We do have the unknown custom element view router. Is that what we call it again?
That?
Oh, we call it view router. It's actually router view.
Okay, there.
Like that.
Oh, my bad. Oh. There we go. So now, what does that look like? Oh, still getting the Laravel. Streamers, streamer page. There we go. So now, what if we want to get the username or that streamer name that we get from the route, the URL?
Well, what we're gonna need is we're gonna need to pass that into what we need to like figure out what that is, and it looks like it's in the URL, right? So I'm betting that somewhere in the vue-router documentation, there's a way for us to find what the what page we're on.
Okay. Oh, here we go. It does say route.params.
We can try that.
I'm trying to figure out, is that just global or where can we find that?
Okay, so
So I don't know. I'm going out on a limb, and I'm just gonna try that. Oops. It always loves to do that. Hey, yeah, it worked.
Yep. Let me.
Come on, save. There we go.
Yep. And so that's the basics of it. So
Oops.
the
There we
entire
go.
the
So
entire
yeah,
idea.
this
I know that that delay is getting us. The Vue is all about trying to reduce the amount of code you have to write. Be a lot simpler for you.
lovely. Okay.
So this is what we have. We have streamers. This we have the links to like the all the streamers that we have in the database, and then when you click on them, it goes to our specific pages.
I love it.
And it is about time for us to sort of wind down too. So let's. Did we complete anything off of our list today? Not really. We haven't like created our template yet, like for this this basic page, but we're getting really close.
Okay. Great.
So with I think what we're gonna do is I'm going to save and push all these up to GitHub. And we've got it co-authored by you. So
Awesome. Okay.
let's see. Set up vue.js.
I get credit too. Yay.
Got some routes going. Ironically, we kind of are finishing today exactly where we finished last week.
Yeah, but just with different technology, I guess.
But now with Vue instead of just Blade. All right, let me pull up where this code is. There it is.
If you don't have events, emit, listen, and slots, those would be some fun things to add to the learning list.
Ooh, yeah. I bet we're eventually going to have some event like emit listen stuff. Because I can imagine that this like streaming overlays is going to become like it includes overlays, but it's going to like have a lot more stuff involved with it too. And we might be able to like it would probably go beyond just what Kael, you and I work on together, but then we can continue doing like pull requests and everything else to grow it and really make it what we want it to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to share out. Here's a link to the code.
Well, awesome.
And we're planning on doing this each Sunday from, well, okay, so it's 7 a.m. Mountain Time to 9 a.m. Mountain Time, or what is it, 8 a.m. Central to 10 a.m. Central?
Central.
And then we'll have everything. We'll upload this to well, I'll upload an archive to YouTube. You already have it on YouTube, Kael, so you're good there. And then I have my my Twitter down below in my stream description. And I'll be tweeting out before each of these. So, do you have any last words, Kael?
No. I mean, this was a lot of fun. I'm really excited about trying to authenticate with Twitch or YouTube, see how that would go, and see if we can get up like the overlays sometime soon. I know that's quite far in the future, but that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so that's those are going to be the fun things that we sort of like start doing. This all so far has just been a lot of sort of like setup, and new projects tend to do that. But we'll get to the super fun parts
Mhm.
pretty soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. But like we need to figure out the deal with the hangouts too.
Yeah, I'm thinking next time we'll try Zoom or something. Anyways, with that, I'm going to switch over to the end screen. So thank you everybody for watching. We'll be continuing this each Sunday. Stay tuned to our Twitters. We'll tweet out before a couple days before the stream, and we'll also tweet out when the archives are up. So with that, I hope that you all have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.